just indexing it properly. So, for example, I'm working with a client right now who thought it was a good idea in 2008 when they made their website to constantly put their phone number in their meta description, which is effective for people who are searching for a local result, and I see the logic in it, but it doesn't really help the librarian find the book. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't really help. They're not doing themselves a service by constantly saying, get your stuff now, free delivery, here's the phone number. It doesn't help us understand what it is they're selling. So I'm rewriting it in that respect. I'm taking out their sales pitch and putting in what exactly are they selling and why should we buy it.
Okay, and the reason for doing that is that Google is trying to find the best answers for people doing searches, and this would help them?
I wouldn't say the best. It's trying to find the most relevant response. It's not going to check the quality, of the product, but yes, it's going to find the best, most relevant response, and it needs the most information it can on the page in those fields. You just mentioned the word meta keywords, which, whether you mentioned it or not, but this is something that has changed in a big dramatic way, is that meta keywords are no longer a search factor because they were gamed, because it was the repository of unscrupulous behavior, in that people would stuff their pages with hundreds, in some cases, of these meta keywords, which, the more you add, the less powerful it gets. Even in 2010, or even before, when you were stuffing it with keywords, the more keywords you add, the less relevant a result they all end up being, but because it dilutes their effectiveness. However, now there's no machine and there's no human set to read meta keywords, with the exception of blog posts.
Okay. What's key for being successful with SEO today then?
Fundamentally, Pramod, and this is I tell all my clients, I start with every presentation I give, I start with this, and we should start as well. I say, it's fundamentally important to tell Google who cares. Google's #1 question is, who cares? And you are obligated to go around and say, they care, see how much they care, I can prove they care. In writing content that engenders comments, by getting Facebook likes, by getting your media tweeted, Instagrammed, pinned, etc., you can prove to Google through the venue of social media that people care about your content. And fundamentally, that is the most important thing. You have to answer Google's question, who cares?
Okay, it sounds like you're saying that by who cares, you're showing that there is already an audience?
There's an audience for everything.
Okay.
There's an audience for every web page. I really believe that. I know that some of the least effective offerings that you look at, they could be lacking original pictures, they could be lacking good copy, they could be lacking a lot of on-page elements, they could have very few incoming links, but there is someone somewhere who wants to see that content.
Okay, let's look at a practical example. We're doing an interview right now. You care, I care. How do we tell Google who cares?
In this particular case, we would leverage the most exciting element, which is me.
Oh, okay. I can just put a bag on my head then.
We would leverage the most exciting elements, and this is what I do when I look at stories. I say, because I know where I can get things published. So the hardest part from an SEO practitioner's perspective is not only do we have to find a good story, we have to find a place to tell that story. And it becomes a Rolodex of who you know. So you can look, and this is my favorite question to other SEO practitioners, is I say, how do you get your incoming links? Because they have to tell us, and the best answer to that is articles, blogs, and discussion forums, original content. But having said I'm going to write articles, blogs, and discussion forums and promoting your content, you still need a vessel to put it in. You still need to have a story that people care about. If I was working for this fig bar company, and actually, this is probably a very social product. So this is an example, an easy example. But how would I get people to care about this fig bar content? Right? How would I get people to care about this? I certainly wouldn't write about the fig bar, because that would be pretty boring stuff, and it also opens you up to liability. What if I was to say,
wait a second, what liability could you have from a fig bar?
Because what if I'm not a representative of the fig bar company?
Oh, I see. Okay.
And so what if I could say, without knowing it, that this has raspberries, or maybe this has peanuts in it. And the fig bar company could say, we certainly do not have peanuts in our product. There's a nut allergy issue that I wouldn't even be aware of.
Right.
So I would instead tell a story about a hunter who has to go duck hunting and doesn't find anything, gets lost, and this is all he has to eat. Or a high fashion model who lives on fig bars. Or a Christmas gift box donation thing where the only piece of product that was eaten but consumed by the family was the fig bars. Or some vessel, true, hopefully, there's truth to it.
Right.
Which, where I can get published in some news media is by far the best. News media, if you can ever take a product and turn it into news, that's always going to have the largest audience. Followed by celebrity, the cult of celebrity. If I could get a picture of Julia Roberts eating a fig bar, I'm set.
There is Photoshop, you realize.
I would never do that. No,
Okay.
I would not. I'm unscrupulous in other